Life gives you two choices: pain today or regret tomorrow. Which one will you choose? Have you ever noticed that pain hurts less than regret? Think about it. Pain is temporary. It stings in the moment. But regret stays. Regret echoes. It whispers, what if? When you're trying to sleep at night, it shows up years later, reminding you of the chances you didn't take, the words you didn't say, or the courage you couldn't find. So here's the truth. Facing pain today might be uncomfortable, but it's 1,000 times lighter than carrying regret tomorrow. And in this video, I'm going to share how to face pain head-on before it transforms into the kind of regret that can weigh down your entire life. Let's start with this. Pain is inevitable. Emotional pain, physical pain, the pain of rejection, the pain of failure. Life offers them all, whether we ask for it or not. But regret is optional. It's what happens when we avoid pain. It's what happens when we run from the tough conversations, skip the hard work, or choose comfort over growth. For example, saying no to chasing your dream because you're scared of failing. That is avoiding pain. But 10 years later, when you're still wondering, what if I had tried? That's regret. Avoiding the pain of being vulnerable in a relationship, of opening up to someone that feels safe now. But when that person leaves and you've never told them how much they meant to you, regret creeps in. Pain asks us for courage today. Regret punishes us for a lifetime if we refuse. Here's the problem. Our brains are wired to run from discomfort. Psychologists call it the avoidance coping strategy. It's survival instinct. Avoid the fire, avoid the injury, avoid the sting. But in modern life, that instinct backfires. We avoid speaking our truth. We avoid taking risks. We avoid confronting our fears. And in doing so, we trade short-term relief for long-term suffering. Avoiding pain feels like self-protection, but it's actually self-sabotage. So how do you face pain before it turns into regret? It begins with a mindset shift. Instead of asking, how do I avoid this pain? Ask yourself, what will it cost me if I don't face it? That tiny shift in perspective changes everything, because suddenly, the discomfort of pain is no longer the enemy. It's the price of freedom, growth, and peace of mind. Think of pain as tuition. You pay it up front, but it buys you wisdom, resilience, and a future without the heavy chains of regret. Now let's get practical. Here are 5 powerful steps you can take to face pain today, so you don't carry regret tomorrow. Step 1. Name the pain. Uncertainty is scarier than the truth. So start by naming what you're afraid of. Is it the pain of rejection, the pain of failing, the pain of judgment? When you name it, it loses some of its power. Step 2. Visualize the regret. Close your eyes and imagine your future self 5, 10, 20 years from now. Imagine looking back and realizing you didn't act because you wanted to avoid discomfort. Feel that weight in your chest. That's regret. Now, compare it to the pain you're avoiding today, which is heavier, almost always. Regret is. Step 3. Break the pain into pieces. Most pain feels unbearable because we see it as one giant wall. Break it down. One tough conversation, one rejection, one risk. Face them in pieces and you'll discover that pain isn't as paralyzing as your mind made it out to be. Step 4. Build a support system. Pain feels worse when we carry it alone. Share your fears, your struggles, your battles with someone you trust. Friends, mentors, coaches, they can remind you that pain is survivable and that you're not walking through it alone. Step 5. Reframe pain as proof of living. The only people who avoid pain completely are the people who avoid life. Every scar, every failure, every heartbreak, it's proof you dared, proof you tried, proof you lived. Let me share 2 short stories that bring this to life. Story 1. The Missed Dream. A man wanted to be a writer. He loved words but hated rejection, so he never submitted his work. He avoided the sting of criticism but spent decades with dusty notebooks no one ever read. In his final years, his pain wasn't rejection, it was regret. Story 2. The Courage to Love. Another man was terrified of confessing his feelings to a friend, but he did it anyway, heart pounding, hands shaking. She didn't feel the same, and yes, it hurt, but years later, when he looked back, he felt peace. Why? Because he knew he tried. There was no what if. His pain faded, but regret never came. Here's the secret no one tells you. Pain is not just survivable, it's transformative. When you face pain, you gain strength. You build resilience, you grow wiser. Pain turns into experience, and experience turns into power. Regret, on the other hand, turns into chains. So the real question is not, will I face pain? But rather, will I face pain now, or will I carry regret forever? To make this practical, I want you to try a daily reflection exercise. Every night, ask yourself 2 questions. What pain did I face today, and what regret did I prevent by facing it? Write it down. Journal it. You'll start to see your courage growing, one choice at a time. So let's return to where we started. Pain or regret? Pain is sharp but temporary. Regret is dull but endless. Pain is the weight you lift to grow stronger. Regret is the weight that drags you down. You don't get to choose whether life brings challenges, but you do get to choose whether you face them now or let them turn into lifelong regret. So the next time you feel fear, resistance, or discomfort, pause and ask yourself, do I want the pain of discipline today, or the regret of missed chances tomorrow? Choose pain. Face it, because one day your future self will look back, smile, and whisper thank you. Life is simple, but it's not easy. Every single day you're given two choices: to embrace the pain of discipline, growth, and courage, or to carry the regret of missed chances, lost time, and silence. Pain or regret, that's it. And here's the truth: most people don't want to face. Pain is temporary, but regret lasts a lifetime. Think about it. Pain stings in the moment, it's the burn in your muscles, the lump in your throat, the fear before you step into the unknown. But pain fades, it heals. Regret doesn't. Regret lingers like a shadow, following you year after year, whispering, what if? What if I had tried? What if I had spoken up? What if I had believed in myself? Pain is not your enemy. Pain is the price you pay for growth. The athlete doesn't get stronger without sore muscles. The student doesn't succeed without late nights of study. The entrepreneur doesn't build without facing rejection and failure. But here's the beauty: pain has a payoff. Every time you endure it, you grow. You earn strength, wisdom, and resilience. Pain today creates freedom tomorrow. Regret, on the other hand, has no payoff. It offers no lesson, no growth. Regret is the tax you pay for refusing to face the pain when it mattered most. Picture this: two people, same opportunity. The first feels the fear, the discomfort, the uncertainty, but chooses to act anyway. They risk embarrassment, risk failure, risk pain. Maybe they succeed, maybe they stumble, but either way, they walk away with pride, with growth, with lessons that shape them. The second avoids it. They choose comfort. They stay silent when they should speak, quit when they should push, hide when they should shine. In the moment they feel relief, no pain, but years later they're haunted by regret, haunted by the truth that they didn't even try. Which one do you want to be? Think of every time you've pushed yourself into a workout, a hard conversation, a new challenge. Did the pain last forever? No, it passed. But now think of the chances you didn't take, the words you didn't say, the opportunities you let slip. Don't they still sting? That's the trap of regret. It doesn't hurt right away, but it stays with you forever. Pain is temporary discomfort. Regret is permanent disappointment. So why do so many of us choose regret over pain? Because our brains are wired for comfort. Comfort feels safe. Comfort whispers, stay here, don't risk it. But comfort is the silent killer of dreams. Comfort leads to mediocrity, and mediocrity breeds regret. Avoiding pain feels like protection, but in reality, it's destruction. You think you're avoiding suffering, but really, you're signing up for a lifetime of what-ifs. So how do you escape this? You flip the script. You stop asking, how do I avoid pain? And instead ask, what regret am I creating if I run from this? That's the mindset shift. That's the breakthrough. Because suddenly, pain doesn't look like punishment. It looks like investment. It looks like progress. It looks like freedom. At the end of your life, you won't remember the days you were comfortable. You'll remember the days you were brave. You'll remember the chances you took, the moments you spoke your truth, the times you chased the dream even when it scared you. The only question is, when that day comes, will you smile at the life you lived, or will you carry the heavy, suffocating weight of regret? Never forget this: pain builds you. Regret buries you. Pain stretches you, molds you, forges you into someone stronger. Regret shrinks you, traps you, chains you to the past. You don't get to escape pain, but you do get to choose which pain you carry: the temporary pain of growth or the eternal pain of regret. So the next time you feel fear, the next time you're tempted to hide, the next time your mind whispers, don't do it. It might hurt. Ask yourself, am I choosing pain today or regret tomorrow? Because one of them will be yours. Choose pain, embrace it, walk through it. Because pain is temporary, but regret is forever. And your future self, the one who lived fully, dared boldly, and chased relentlessly, will look back and say, thank you.